All right, members, welcome back. Welcome back. So last time we looked at craft as a definition, factors to consider. Then I left you with definition of studio. Then let's look at element of art and design. So what is the element of art and design? What are the element of art and design? So those two questions, they are different. So when it is what is the element of art and design, you are going to define. Then what are the elements you are going to list? Okay. Then what is the element of art and design? These are guidelines followed during the construction and appreciation of a given artwork. So what you have been following, those are what we call elements. So they are like rules in schools, rules and regulations in schools. Are they not the ones which guide you? So also in art and design, there are elements, there are rules which guide us while constructing or when doing any artwork and appreciating any given artwork. So when you are looking at someone's work, what do you base on to say that the work is good or bad? So those are the elements I'm talking about, like space, shape, line, texture, tone, and color. We are going to see them in detail. Let's begin one by one. So what is shape? Shape, we are going to define it in two ways. It is an area in which one expresses him or herself while making a given artwork. So at times when I come in your class, some people say, I don't have a book, therefore you don't have a space. You don't have a space. Then when we don't give you area where you are going to do your work from, do you have a space? So that's why your DT Girls School constructed the other shade of art and craft to give you space. To give you space. So that is what we call space. So another way, it is an empty place or area within or around a given artwork. That is space. That area around or within. Where it is filling, it is what we call space. And where it is not filling but around it is also space. So space is of two types. One positive, another one negative. So positive, that is area filled, where the artwork is filling. Where it is, like where I'm occupying, it is what we call positive. And where I'm not occupying, like in armpits around, that is what we call negative space. Also the same way to art pieces. Where the art piece is occupying is what we call positive. And where it is not filling is what we call negative. So view that work. There is black and white. White, therefore, it is not filling that area. Then black, it is where it is filling. So black part, that is positive. Isn't it what we said? Filled by artwork? Yeah. Then where it is not occupying, that is negative. Okay? Okay, let's go to the importance of space. What is the importance of space? So the first importance, it helps an artist to express him or herself. Remember, if you don't have a space, you will not be able to do the work. You will not be able to express yourself. Like the example I gave you, if you don't have a book, and remember I've said a book is like a space. It is a space, it is your space. If you don't have a book, will you be able to express yourself? So space helps an artist to express him or herself. Then another importance, helps an artist to create a visual perspective. Perspective means like when something is near to you, you will look at it when it is big. And when you draw it, you will draw it very big. And the one far away from you, it will be small. Look at my two hands in my photo. Are you seeing the perspective? So the other one which is very far, the other hand which is very far, it is small. And the one which is near to the camera is big. So the same way when we are drawing, when we are using that space, we show that visual perspective. So that is the importance of space. Are you seeing where my hand is occupying? So are they not occupying the space? So it helps to show that perspective in art. So try to view in my photo the perspective. Something near to you, big, far away, small. Okay, we continue. Let's look at line. What is line? Line, we have some two terms which I will be using in art. 2-dimension and 3-dimension. So if you have a free space, please write this. 2-dimension. What is 2-dimension? So you can write and say 2-dimension, it is any artwork which shows one side, like paperwork, that is 2-dimensional art. So long as it is showing only one side, that is 2-dimensional artwork. Then when it is showing what do we mean when we say 3-dimension? So 3-dimension, it is an artwork which is showing all sides, the wall of it. It is a freestanding artwork, or it is showing the wallness, the roundness of it. So we are going to define line in those two areas. When we look at 2-dimensional artwork, we said the example of a paper. Line is a mark or a path made by a moving point or a sharp instrument. So when you are writing in your books, don't you show lines? Yes, you show lines. So that's what we call line. You can define it in that way, a mark or a path made by a moving or a sharp instrument. Then another one, in 3-dimensional artwork, such as weaving, contour, it is created, it is defined as a contour created when two planes meet. In weaving, it is defined as contour created when two planes meet. Are we together? So like in weaving, enjuru ezezimuteekamu, and remember when you put those injuru there, they create lines. In basket, don't you leave their lines? So those are what we call line or contours. So you can look at the types of lines, read them. We have horizontal, we have vertical, we have zigzag, we have curves. Yeah, very many. Okay, let's look at the importance of line to an artist. Line helps to create shape. Line helps us to create shape. So do this practical. Draw in your book a cup. So are you not putting there lines? So when those lines meet, it is what we call shape. Then another one to show the effect of light. So we show light and dark by using line. Whereby on area where there is dark, we use thick line. And where there is light, we use thin lines or light lines. Then show movement. When you want to show that someone has gone the other side, what do? You put an arrow showing you the direction where someone was taken. Then on posters, like for example on the junction of URDT, when you enter URDT, there is a poster showing the areas where your DT departments are like KKCR. We see KKCR showing the arrow, it is the other on the left hand side. Your DT Girls School, it is continuing like that. So they help in to show movements. Another one, it encloses space. It helps to show to enclose space. Like when you are drawing a cup, are you not enclosing the shape of a cup? So that space of a cup where it is occupying, it is what I told you, a space. And remember, space, we have positive and negative. Therefore, where the cup is occupying, that is positive space. It is helping to show space. Then it helps to create texture. Texture, it is shown in using scribbling method of shading. Scribbling, that is a way of shading, like the way children starts to write. They are scribbling. Scribbling. They scratch, they just scratch. So when you want to show draft texture, we use that shading, scratching. Then when we want to show light, to show smooth texture, we shade properly. Okay, so it helps to show texture. Then another element is shape. What is shape? Shape, it is a flat enclosed line. Flat enclosed line, or simply an area with a well-defined boundary. So I told you, when you draw a cup, are you not enclosing lines? At the same time, are you not showing shape? So you can define it and say it is a flat enclosed line. Very simple. Or an area filled with a well-defined boundary. An area with a well-defined boundary, that's what we call shape. So you can write one of them, don't write all of them, just one. So what are those different types of shape, members? I know you are going to say rectangle, circle, triangle, oval. Okay, but those ones, they are all under geometrical shapes. We have geometrical, another one we have organic shape. So under geometrical, we have rectangle, triangle, circle, oval. So the rectangles, we have the shapes we use, which are not organic. Therefore, we just create them by our hands. Okay, then organic, they are like nature. Nature defines the shape. They were created like that, like the shape of a tree. Can you create another shape of a tree? No, it was created like that, like a shape of human figure. Can you do another shape of human figure? No. An animal, those are organic shapes. We have given example of stone, trees, etc. So when those lines meet, we said they create what we call shape. So let's end with the tone. Tone, what is tone? Tone is a reflected light as light. It is a reflected as light and a shade, or it is the lightness or darkness of an object. So we are familiar with it is the lightness or darkness of an object due to light effect. So you have to add the word due to light effect. Of course, any dark and light is brought about by the source of light. Are we together? So we have another term which we use, we say value. You can either say tone or value. So value also refers to the degree of lightness or darkness of a given object. So the degree to which the object has light and dark, it's what we call value. Members, let's end with this. Next time we shall look at other elements of art, and whereby we shall look at form. So as I end, you can be observing that illustration of tonal variation. I remember showing you this, and you also did practical. That's why I will not explain it so much. and that is light and dark. So I'm going to end here. Next time, we meet next time with other elements of art and design. So stay well. I've remained as your teacher, Isga Irene. Have a nice day. Greet your parents, please. Follow SOPs. If you are above 18 years of age, go for immunization. COVID is real. Members, hope to see you in the next lesson.